Yeah, hello everybody, welcome back to Mert Mart. Let's go. Last time on Mert Mart, we were attempting to obtain money. We need $40,000 and we're at 31. We're actually doing really well, actually. They're still stocking. I'm just trying to get a gauge on how much they still have left to stock. Probably Choco Pick. Butter. Milk. Orange juice. What are you doing? Eggies. Alright, yeah, they got quite a bit to go still. So let's take a look and see what we need here. One of those for sure. We're gonna need one of these. We are out of orange juice. We are almost out of apple juice. Milk. We know the cleaning supplies are done, so we don't need to worry about that too much. We almost always need more coffee. Okay, we can order that. Nice. I hope everybody's having a good day. I don't even know what's going on right now. Where am I? I got too, like, out of it. I have a Christmas tree now. My mom came by, had a little bit of a visit. I have a Christmas tree. It's got lights on it. It's a fake tree. So, like, don't at me about that, but, you know. Is my hand doing better? It's a little bit, excuse me, it's a little bit tired today. Puck's doing good. Puck's outside right now. Running around in the snow. Vibing, hanging out, having a grand old time. I hope everybody had a good weekend and had a good, like, holiday, Thanksgiving-y food stuff. I hope everybody got fat. Yeah, you're right there. My brain is a little bit fried after listening to Mr. Beast try to gaslight me for 2 hours. Actually, to be fair, he'd only try to gaslight me for 15 minutes. It took me 2 hours to deal with it. Hello, welcome. Welcome back to Mert Mart. It was Thanksgiving for some people. Not me. Mac and cheese with bacon later? Perhaps. I could make that tonight. I believe I have the necessary components. Mac and Chesh. I have Mac and Chesh. Hi, Puck. Would you like this ball? There you go. Man, I got a lot of stock. I probably don't need this much toilet paper, but I really did get tired of running out of it all the time. I should have done a Black Friday sale at Mert Mart. That would have been very funny. I didn't think about it at the time. I thought about it after the fact. I was like, oh, that would have been funny. Where it's just like, oh, let's just do a sale on everything and change all the prices and set everything down. I was worried for a minute. I was about to get started on the stream, and I had just put this Christmas tree on, and the lights for the Christmas tree are on, and I was worried that the lights for the Christmas tree were gonna knock out my power. I was like, oh, that's not good. Actually, just get one of that. That's fine. Here we go. The Nutella doesn't seem to sell that quick. We go through whiskey a lot at this store. Yeah. Alright. I thought that was just one, but I wasn't 100% sure. It's fine. We're out of peanut butter. The peanut butter and Nutella almost look the same. I don't like that. There we go. That's everything ordered. We have $26,000 and we need to get to 40. Hello, welcome. What did you guys think of the video today? Yes, no, yes, no. My roommate stopped playing Diablo 4. Lilith wouldn't take so much power. I mean, yeah, all 3 of the bedrooms here are on one breaker. My one roommate works during the afternoon, so he's usually not even here by the time I, You actually use that feature? I've only started playing with it a little bit. I don't usually use it very much. It's kind of like the screen phone version of T9. Did you guys know there was like a contest for like who could text the fastest? I'm opening the store. Should be fine. You check the butter. Yeah, they stock that shit up. Look at them go. Ah, they're great. Good job, Enrico's. I thought maybe you should do a body language read on Mr. Beast and upload it. Dude was feeling the pressure. Yeah, it was only 15 minutes. I mean, depending on the way the questioning goes, I guess, it will, like, he'll either get more pressured or less pressured. I still don't understand, like, why Oompaville would have done this. Like, he's not usually, like, a clout-chasey kind of guy. I'm putting dick and peanut butter with Destiny shop. I don't know, I hope not. It's not something I want to deal with. Destiny fans are some of the dumbest people I've ever seen and talked to in my life. I've been drunk off my ass and done a better job dealing with Destiny fans than, like, your average bear. Oh, I don't have my music on. I should also check, like, the bills and stuff. Woo! Let's take a look, shall we? I don't remember what we were planning. I'm pretty sure we had plans. Yeah, prices and bills. Yeah, I guess I should check the prices, too. Yeah, that one's good. That one's good. Alright, prices are good. I don't think I owe any money. I do not. Everything's good. Bills are starting tomorrow, so we'll pay these 2 off for now. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I think he was having a moment of increased breathing. Is that what that's supposed to be? Breathing as well in time with looking directly to his right, which would fit well with feeling pressure to make something up to try to justify his conduct. Well, he's definitely there to try to, like, justify himself, but, like, that, of course he was. That's normal. I'm considering moving this guy out here if he'll fit. And then adding another one so I can have my little corner back, but I don't know if I have enough space. You'll notice that I still do not have a single self-checkout. I might be able to put, like, a self-checkout on either side if I move this ice cream, but I don't really want to. Do you betray us, Oompaville? I don't really feel like he's betrayed anybody. Like, he's a goofy guy doing goofy things, which questions more as to why he would, like, take on such, like, a serious but, like, very difficult task. I mean, maybe that's my own bias, because I have a generally good opinion of Oompaville. I just don't think he's doing it I don't think he's doing it out of any kind of malice, but it does... Again, I'm only 50 minutes into it, but there's, like, some things that I find, like, considerably problematic about it. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, well, I don't think he's being malicious about it, but you might call some of it neglectful. Like, this was clearly not a good choice. You know what I mean? But I think you could say that this wasn't a good choice without that. Like, this, I don't even know if you really need to watch much of it to know that this was not, like, a good decision. If, like, getting to the truth of the matter and, like, settling things, like, but I don't know, I mean, I don't know what Oompaville knows, like, and again, I'm not, well, I don't want to judge too harshly because I'm not through the whole thing, I just know there's some parts about it that I'm already, or am like, that's kind of a problem. But, or no. It do be like that sometimes. Needless to say, I'm not, like, horrifically concerned so far. I'm just like, oh my god, look how awful this is, and look at what he's done. No, I'm not, like... So far, it's not, like, that problematic. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not great, and there are problems to this, but it's not, like... Oh, good god, how dare he? It's awful, blah. I don't want to be sensationalist about it either, right? Like, that's not... My shtick is being analytical, not being, like, blowing shit out of proportion for no goddamn reason. Like, if I'm gonna blow shit out of proportion, I'm gonna validate what I'm doing. I'm also not gonna, like, shy away from pointing out that something I'm noticing looks kind of problematic is critical, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but, like, if shit's a little wacky, shit's a little wacky. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna call it as I see it. Yeah, well, you know. Sometimes people's opinions, like, sometimes people have different opinions, and sometimes those opinions are just wrong. I also haven't seen anybody, like I said, I haven't really watched any analysis of the video yet, like, of the discussion, and that was on purpose. So the only one I checked on was, CoffeeZilla, and there was only one thing in CoffeeZilla's video that I was like, about, and it was just that he said that Mr. Beast is like the charity guy. I don't have any problems with any of his charities. Like, I'm talking about something very, very specific. And I'm like, I don't think he's a charity guy, but it was like just a flippant comment of, like, just being like, oh yeah, this is one of the things he does. So I didn't really take it that seriously, you know what I mean? Because I didn't think he was taking it that seriously. Which, I mean, I guess could be seen as an issue, but I don't think it is. Pretends to be charity guy. Yeah. Does charity as a business to make money guy. Makes money off of performative charity. Which, like, the more you describe it, the worse it sounds. That's the wrong one. The more you decide that you describe it, the worse it sounds, and it's just like, I mean, it's pretty bad. Like, it's not great. Not a good way to go about things, in my opinion. In my opinion. Get my boys all boosted. My boys be zooming. Ta-da! I think I can close the store. That's good. That's basically all done up. Let's get some tea, and then we'll start doing the, cleaning supplies. Alright, what do we need here? Dog food. And stuff. Yep. Oh, I'm out of hand stuff. Soap! Oh, what do you got? Alright, I'm getting the hand soap. Oh my god. Fucking... One in a box drives me insane. It's gonna be one in a box again. End me. Ugh. Every time. Every time. Alright, what else do we need? Green? We need a blue one as well. We're out of green now. We did super good on stock today. Put it here. Chesh is out of the hand stuff. Yeah, no more hand stuff. All gone. Alright, they're done running. Is there anything in last if here I need to do? Nah, that's pretty good. Alright. Store level, 0 points. Green beans. Alright, alright, alright. 365. Damn. Alright, that's all fine, that's all fine, that's fine. Don't need that. Probably need 2 of that. And you know what? Sometimes it's impossible to tell why things get blocked. Who knows? I think it's because people are too fragile. But I also think it's because it's not the people that you think are too fragile that are too fragile. Like, imagine unironically calling people problematic because they have a character in D&D that has a wheelchair. Who do you think the person who's fragile in that situation is? Is it the person who has to live with their life in a wheelchair, who deals with this kind of garbage in and day out and just wants to play a goddamn game and play a character in a wheelchair? Or do you think it's a little pissant throwing a whole ass tantrum about a character in a game that they're not even playing? I don't know. Who could it be? Who could be the problematic individual in that scenario? Then again, I'm also not the type of person to get, like, offended on other people's behalf. I usually only bother getting offended for people on other people's behalf if, like, they ask for my help. Because, like, I just don't assume people need my assistance. I'm there for them, but I'm not gonna speak for them. I don't need to. I would just rather boost other people who have a more valid opinion than mine. And a game system that allows you to make robots, someone was offended that someone had a wheelchair. Yes. They were like, this is a world of magic, why would anybody be in a wheelchair? There's lots of reasons why somebody might be in a wheelchair. It just, like, it's just a super stupid and ignorant thing anyway. Like, you don't have to justify it, first off. If they want to play a character in a wheelchair, let them. And it's not like magic. Magic is not necessarily a cure-all. Just because there is magic doesn't mean... We build robots now and there are people in wheelchairs. Like, what the hell? What? We have, like, really, really highly developed, like, gene therapies, and, like, there are a lot that, like, being in a wheelchair is not, like, necessarily as simple as this person's legs are paralyzed. That's a reason, and that may or may not be curable with magic. But it's just like, well, why wouldn't they have robot legs? Maybe they don't want robot legs. Maybe they can't afford robot legs. Maybe robot legs are, like, way more complicated and difficult to manufacture in a medieval-style fantasy game than what you're making it out as. Like, but that's the thing. You're already having an argument you don't need to have. This person doesn't have to justify it. They're allowed. Like, it's a stupid thing to pretend you need, like, to try to force somebody to justify why their character is this way when that's just the character they want to play and it ostensibly doesn't hurt the game in any way. Like, what? And by the game, I mean, like, the people playing in the home game. Because it obviously doesn't, it's obviously not a problem for, like, the game and the books overall. Like, it's silly is all I'm saying. Very silly. It's a very dumb thing to be upset about. It doesn't affect you and it doesn't hurt anybody, so leave people alone? Probably need one. That's fine. There we go. I think it's dumb. In the real world, someone from the 18th century of CR world is full of magic and spirits and impossible things being done and all unexplained. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not like they're playing a caveman game where the tech wouldn't allow for a random person with tech that wouldn't exist yet or something. Even then, sometimes you can just, like, not care. You just be like, it's a sled. And, like, also, wheels have been around for a really long time, so, like, and so have chairs. So, like, a chair and wheels, not necessarily that complicated. All I'm saying is that it's not exactly like it's a huge, like, betrayal of the setting. And it's not like you have to suspend, like, a bunch of disbelief to be able to be like, okay, sure. Why not? If they wanted to have, like, maybe, if they wanted a hovering wheelchair so that they didn't have to make, like, any climbing checks, sure, maybe that might be more complicated and might not work, but now you're talking about, like, extra particulars of, like, game mechanic. And, like, why not? You've just got, like, a rune of Tensor's floating disc carved into the bottom of the chair, so the chair just hovers. It's just a modified spell. Yeah, if the GM says it's okay, then what's the problem? Yeah, exactly. As long as everybody at the table is in agreement, what's the issue? Yeah, it's almost like there isn't one and people are just making shit up to be angry about because they're assholes. Well, that's not what I would have in my game. Okay, well, fuck off. Your game sounds boring. The first self-propelled wheelchair was invented in 1655. Wow. Where's my... I'm missing 2 Enricos. Are they already out? Is there a reason you guys aren't dealing with this? Oh, yours being slow. Alright. Oh, whatever. Fine now. You guys didn't notice anybody being like, oh, the lines are too long? I didn't notice that. And that's also, like, that, just to say that, like, the first self-propelled wheelchair, not even necessarily the first chair on wheels that was propelled by other people or something else, right? Who's to say that you couldn't have like a wheelchair that is pulled by a familiar, right? You know what I mean? Like Saint Bernards are in the manual. Invented by a paraplegic clockmaker. That's cool. So, like, it's actually absurd to me that there wouldn't be. Right? Like, do I only have one box of this? How did that happen? That might be a problem. I might need another box. I'm gonna grab one more box of this because, like, that seems bad. Oh, is that how it works? Okay. There's just a lot of stupid in the world, and a lot of it is really unnecessary. Like, really unnecessary. And, like, people will treat that like it's a debate. Like, bro, it's not a debate for somebody else to play a fantasy game that they added a thing to. Like, it's not a debate. They did that. No, you're not allowed to do that. Says the fuck who? You square? Who told you that there was only one way to do something? It's against the rules. Oh my god. Grow up. What are you on about? Sir? Please. See, I knew I was gonna need more of the ABC books. Red book, blue book. I feel like people on social media really do feel like they need to have an opinion about everything. Like, would you believe me if I told you that I actually pick and choose what topics I want to, like, comment on my YouTube channel? That I don't just, like, see something and then go flying off the fucking handle? Would you believe me? Would you believe me if that I actually considered for a couple of days whether or not I was gonna talk about this interview, and, like, I considered how I wanted to approach it and what it might look like if I was going to? Go figure. Who would have thought? Imagine treating your audience like they're not a fucking bunch of idiots. And that they might actually have something valuable to say, if provided with the information. The Mr. Beast thing is a little bit complicated just because, like, there's a lot of just facts of the matter and things that are like, is this true, is this not true? And that's why I'm not really covering what... Like, I'm not covering the issues. I'm letting you have gone and look at it yourself, where I'm saying, okay, well, these are the controversies, these are the some of the accusations that have been going around. So we're just gonna acknowledge that those exist and then talk about, like, his response to them. It's like, that's not, so far, not great. The fact that it's been 15 minutes and it's not a good 15 minutes, and they're already trying to, like, talk themselves up like they're doing a good job is kind of also a thing. Like, that's concerning on its own, I guess. Yeah, there's layers. I'm not Aaron, yeah. Once I'm done this, I'll probably check on Vic Mignogna again. Just to see where he's at. I had some french fries, by the way. I'm munching. I have no idea how many parts it's gonna be, but I am going to, like, be very thorough about it. And I'll make it, like, its own little playlist. Honestly, the guy seems, like, really, like... Mr. Beast doesn't read well to me. Put it that way. Like, he doesn't come off as, like... He comes off like a robot to me. He comes off like very beep, beep, boop. I'm saying this thing because this is what I'm supposed to say. Yeah, I think that's the way most DMs handle it. Well, unless there's gonna be like a mechanical issue for your character, and then you can just kind of work around it. Like, people work around playing a centaur all the time, so like it's the same. Concept is the same. Like, if I wanted to play, for example, like, if I was playing Dapper's game, right? His Star Trek game. And I wanted to play a character in a wheelchair. Like, Geordi LaForge exists. That dude was blind, and he had a visor that, like, allowed him to see in, like, certain light spectrums. So why wouldn't I be able to play a blind character, even with all the scientific advancements that exist for Star Trek? He goes on, like, a whole character arc about getting his eyes fixed. He's not genuine. You know what? That's a way better than he comes off as a robot to me. He comes off as disingenuine. Like, he doesn't come off good, like, well to me. He doesn't come off as charismatic at all to me. Like, at all. He comes off as, like, generally like, he seems uncomfortable. He seems uncomfortable, and he comes off as, like, fake. Like, performative. He comes off that he sounds to me like he's saying things because he thinks that's what that people want him to say, not that he's saying things that are correct or need to be said or ought to be said. Insult people's intelligence. Yeah, that too. Yeah, he comes off as everyone is dumb but me. It's the idea of that, oh well, I am never wrong and I can never be wrong because if you don't agree with me, then you're just not understanding what I'm saying. And so if you don't understand what I'm saying, then it's because you're dumb, ultimately. Because I can't be wrong, Or people couldn't possibly just disagree with me. It has to be that you don't understand what I'm saying. Because I'm the only one who's really smart. And that's stupid and annoying, and I don't like it. It's a fool's game, in my opinion. That attitude can come about by surrounding yourself with yes men. True, that is one way it can come about. It certainly can. Books, tuna, bleach, potato pops. Book. What did I say? Book. Something. Bleach. I don't know which bleach it was. This one. 380. And potato pops. Which I think is this one. Tuna. Thank you, yes. Thank you. Boom. Let's go. That's good. Oh man, I don't know. The Mr. Beast thing isn't irritating to me. It's the same problem with, like, Elon Musk, right? Like, the ethical concerns are just, like, thrown under the rug for, but did he do anything illegal? Like, how the fuck do you think things become illegal and against the rules in the first place? Some jackass does them, they are really, really harmful, and society goes, maybe we shouldn't do that. Like, that's how laws are formed. And, like, to try to pretend like otherwise is just stupid to me. Like, it's super basic to I don't like that Oompaville does not seem to acknowledge or realize that, so what? Like, the ethical concerns are the ethical concerns, regardless of whether or not he was quote-unquote cleared by his own lawyers to not be engaging in illegal activity in this one instance. In this one issue. Like, great, and? Can we, like... Ugh. I don't know, maybe it gets better. I didn't watch it ahead of time. I considered, I hemmed and hawed about watching it ahead of time and then decided not to. So, I'm just addressing it as it comes. Sometimes I wonder if, like, my standards are too high, but, like, I tend to balance between, like, the standards that these people are setting versus, like, the standard that I'm setting. But my base standard is pretty just straightforward. Like, I'm like, this is clearly an ethical issue. Whoops, that was the wrong spot. Hello, welcome. Welcome to Mert Mart, where you shop smart. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the video goes. Not that I expect it to blow up or gain any any large amount of traction or anything. Like, the niche of what I talk about is very analytic and not really for the average YouTube viewer. You feel like that every day with people? Yeah. I just... People don't think. They just don't. And it's like... Stop. Please, consider your actions for, like, 30 seconds. I beg of you. Sure. Oh, that was 30. There we go. Everything is ordered. Let's go! But that's 30 seconds where I can't bask in the glory and the likes that I get for doing something stupid. Yeah. Too much reaction and little pro-action. Well, I mean, I understand that people also get, like, demoralized by, like, bureaucracy. The system is slow. I would argue the system is a little too slow. It takes a lot to just get basic, like, shit done. It takes a while to get basic shit done, even when, like, the answer is obvious. Even without bad faith actors getting in the way. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. Who even thinks? Nobody else does. Why should I bother? You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like that. Or it's like, why do I need to bother? Like, if nobody else is gonna turn their brain on, why should you? It's like the movie Idiocracy, right? Like, why? I saw a lady in the British government arguing on the floor about how people don't have the right to go through a life not being offended. I was like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, lady, what are you even saying? She went on some, like, it was only, like, a little bit of what she said. Like, the clip wasn't very long. And I was just like, who the fuck is saying otherwise? You want it, like, who the hell is running around saying, like, make it illegal for me to personally be offended? Like, what? Nobody's saying that. Nobody's arguing for that. They're like, what are you talking about? I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. Every snowflake ever said that? She's arguing this in Parliament. Not like Joe Schmo, like, being like, you're not allowed to say you dislike a different baseball team. Like, what do you mean? You've offended me and that shouldn't be allowed? Like, nobody's actually making that argument. Yeah. Yeah, it's super dumb. Like, there's a difference between free speech laws and harassment laws. And then, like, people throwing shit at each other on Twitter. Right? And then she's just like, if you don't ever want to be offended in your life, go be a hermit. Like, if you truly wanted that or believed in that, you would just not participate in the society. And it's just like, that is such a non sequitur that, like, doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't get what the big deal about college safe spaces is. Like, college students should be allowed to explore ideas in a space that they're not gonna necessarily, like, hurt other people, because the whole point of learning is to make mistakes and explore. So being able to do that in a space that's not going to have, like, massive negative repercussions for the rest of your life is probably a good idea. But you need to do so without also promoting hate, right? So you're not gonna let the Nazis form a club in your school. But as a student, you also have the right to protest the school. So, like, for example, like when Milo Yiannopoulos was, like, booed off of stage, and he's like, oh, I'm being harassed. So, like, well, no, you're not. You're being protested. And why? Are you offended? You don't like it? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, maybe that one was, like, a little out of proportion at the time, maybe. I don't remember close enough. But, like, there's a difference between having a conversation about something being blown out of proportion and maybe more aggressive than it needed to be versus saying, like, they shouldn't be allowed to do it at all. Right? Then who's the snowflake? I have a reputation for being well direct sometimes, and I have a poster at my work saying, you know what happens when you get offended? Nothing. Now be an adult and move on. Yes, I think it kind of depends on what you're talking about when you use the word offended. Because I think, like, the word offended also has, like, a handful of uses that get conflated. So, like, people will say that somebody will say something like along the line, like, say somebody uses, like, a slur in the workplace, and the person who the slur was directed at is like, don't say stuff like that, it's offensive. Right? There's a difference between you're being offensive and I'm offended. Like, those are different words, but I think they get conflated a little bit in those types of conversations. Right? There's also a difference between, like, being direct and being a dick. And then there's some people that are oversensitive, right? And that are like, oh, well, you didn't say that to me in the nicest way possible. And so, or even if you did say it in the nicest way possible, they can't handle the criticism or the feedback very well. And that's something different. That's not being offended. That's those people not being able to handle pushback. I wouldn't be surprised if it's related to trans stuff, but again, we're back to the same way as using a slur. Right? right? If you're harassing somebody, well, stop. Yeah, of course it's not exactly very professional, is it? To be, like, pissing people off and offending people in the workplace. Having a higher standard of behavior in a professional setting is generally how things operate. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't sound like it's an appropriate thing to have at your workplace, but I don't know your workplace. That's not exactly a professional tagline to have in your team's messages, right? So, yeah. And if it's like, you did it knowing you were going to upset people in your workplace, then yeah, you're the problem. Do I think what you said is terribly problematic? Not really. But that's not the point. It doesn't matter. The point is professionalism and an expectation of not going to work expecting somebody to be there trying to piss you off and upset you on purpose. It's called a hostile work environment. And, like, you have to be there, so it's not like you can just leave. So... And that's not being direct. That's being problematic. And it's being problematic on purpose. Sure. Yeah, if you're in a workplace where it's more open-ended and that's within the professional bounds of that workplace, sure. Right? Like I said, I don't know your workplace in particular, so I'm not gonna sit here and judge you. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if in a different setting you would get in trouble for that, right? So, like, if you were a lawyer and you were messaging clients and that was in your message, yeah, you're probably not gonna last very long. Right? Like, it's almost like context matters or something. Yeah, status message, whether it's like a tagline. The point is that it's viewable and part of your day-to-day work, and people have to look at it. It's the reason why it's like, is it right for somebody to be fired for being problematic on, like, Facebook? Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't mean to, like, talk. I'm not trying to, like, talk about you specifically. I'm trying to, like, take your example and speak in generals. I don't think that being a jerk all the time is, like, a career-ending move, right? Like, being a jerk sometimes doesn't make you a bad person either. Like, sometimes people are just jerks. Like, sometimes it's deserved, you know what I mean? So, like... What? The dude got upset about your message that says Jesus thinks you're a jerk was directed at him because he is Jewish and he felt it was attacking him? What? Why? Because... Like, did he give you a reason as to why he thought... Powdered sugar, cheese, eggs, pizza. No reason, just said get rid of it or I talk to your boss. That's a little bit childish. I said, okay, have fun. Yeah, alright, yeah, fair. That's fair. I think I missed one. Oh, I missed the cheese. He went over your helmet, did he? He took it to the top brass and the top tier directors, who basically told him to suck it up and get a helmet and shut up. Who basically, apparently he's not all there mentally, which is sad, of course, but sheesh. I mean, yeah, that's sad and unfortunate, and like, I don't think that's a good way to handle things by anybody. Some workplaces are less professional than others, but in ways that probably aren't healthy for the work environment. So, like, for example, anybody who's worked factory knows that, like, people swear a lot, which isn't really a problem, but you'll also know that there's a lot of verbal abuse. And that is a problem. And so, like, if you were to get yelled at by a boss at, like, in a factory workplace, and you said, listen, fuck off, most people wouldn't care. But if you said, okay, here, listen, I don't like the way you're talking to me, don't talk to me that way, I don't verbally abuse me like that, and just tell me what your issue is. And they'd be like, why, are you offended? And then it turns into a whole fucking thing, right? When the issue is, and so people will hide behind other people being offended when that's literally never the thing they even said in the first place. If that guy had come up to you and said, hey, is your tagline directed at me? You probably would have been like, no, it's just a general quote from this funny thing that I thought was funny. And then he'd be like, oh, okay, cool. But I also understand if he doesn't feel comfortable asking you that question, because if he already feels like you're attacking him, not very many people can handle that kind of confrontation. And in some cases, it's not appropriate. So, in that case, the reasonable thing to do would be to go to HR. Not threatening you, by the way. Because being like, take this down or else is silly. But, like, to go to HR and say, hey, I'm worried that this person has got this thing that I'm taking this way. Can that be addressed? And then HR can say, alright, yeah, we'll talk to him. And then HR comes and has that conversation with you, and you go, oh, no, it's just this. And then they say, okay, well, it's a little bit and then HR does whatever, like, the policy of the company is. So if HR is like, okay, no, so it's not, like, it's not this, that, or the other thing, and you say, oh, no, and they go, okay, cool, no problem. And then they go back to the other guy and say, yeah, it's not about that, it's this other thing. And then that person then says whatever they're going to say about it. They either accept it or they don't, and then you go down that road. Or they go to him and he says, no, actually, it's, like, really offensive regardless of what it's from. And they say, okay, well, we'll see what we can do about it. And then they ask you to take it down, and then you decide to do whatever you're going to do with that information. So, like, you know. Human interactions are weirdly, very simply complicated. Oh yeah, sure. I believe you that it's still there, because of the way you said it was handled. But I don't think it's appropriate to tell somebody with mental issues to suck it up and put on a helmet, because that's fucking offensive. Like, that's offensive and problematic. Your thing might not be, But the way your boss has handled it is absolutely toxic and problematic. He said very clearly that he's never going to talk. I mean, yeah. I mean, if he thinks you're anti-Semitic, why would he? I wouldn't expect him to. I don't think it would be reasonable to expect him to. I don't think it would be appropriate. I don't think it was appropriate for him to confront you in the first place. Unless you had a better rapport, which you clearly didn't, so. Honestly, if my boss told me that, to me, I would walk out. Actually, if I found out my boss has told that to somebody else, I'd probably walk out as well. That's, like, really bad. A really bad thing to say to somebody. It's a really bad thing to say, period. And really not a professional way of handling anything at all. It actually tells me that, like, your bosses are kind of shitty people. Did I buy one of those already? I'm gonna take that off because I think I might have bought that already. I've amended it slightly to make sure that it's clearly satirical. That's good. That's good of you to do. Like, I think that shows... I think that shows, like, initiative and, like... a reasonable response to what could be viewed as an unreasonable scenario. Yeah. Yeah. And, like, sometimes things are just taken by some people in a way that is not intended. You can't think about everyone for everything from every perspective. And it takes somebody informing you for you to even know in the first place. The boss who did the helmet comment is no longer with us. He was a toxic prick to everyone, apparently. I don't know him and never talked to him, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, good. That's super problematic. But I'm sure there would be people who would watch this, and they'd be watching me responding and reading out what you were saying, and they'd say, well, I should bleep that out anyway. Or, like, I didn't react to that viscerally, instantaneously, and so therefore I'm a bad person for not talking about it in a particular way. Right? Oh, yeah, sure, I got you. I mean, even if your story was a full-on lie to me, I don't think it would necessarily matter. Like, it pursues a conversation and a greater topic, right? So. One way or another. That's true. Maybe I'm a bad person because I'm a goblin. You ever think of that? You ever think of that, huh? Huh? You didn't even consider that. Racists. Oh, thank you for the stretch. I heard that short people go to hell. I'm here for that. I'm going anyway. I might as well, like, not waste my time. A fruitless endeavor. I do honestly think that people just also don't think things through a lot of the time. Like, I don't even try. So, like, I think that before doing this Mr. Beast interview, for example, I do think that Oompaville probably considered that for, like, some time to decide what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. And I'm sure he reached out to people, like, in the background to, like, be like, what questions are important? Like, I'm sure he got feedback about what needed to be asked or what people felt needed to be asked. I'm sure he did. Because I'm willing to grant him that charity, and I'm willing to believe him when he says that he's trying. And I'm also sure that, like, one of the reasons why at the beginning he's being so amicable is he's trying to get Mr. Beast to open up and be amicable, and he's also nervous and uncomfortable. Which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. On the other hand, it's like, why bother arguing with Mr. Beast about a nonsense point that's not even the point anyway and doesn't really matter? I mean, you don't live that far from hell, Michigan. I mean, you said fuck cancer and people thought that meant fuck people who have cancer or something like that. I think that no matter what set of actions you take, some people are gonna be mad at you. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't please everybody. There's a rule that I have, or like a principle that I follow, I guess. Where it's like, listen, I don't mind people being angry at me, or being upset with me, or not liking me. That's going to happen, but what I like to try to control is who doesn't like me, the type of person that doesn't like me. And so far I've been relatively, like, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I'm relatively consistent about the type of person that doesn't like me. And I am a-okay with that. I don't want bullies like Erin to like me. Why would I want Erin to like me? She's a nasty piece of work. Like, I don't care. I have no desire for her affection in any way, shape, or form. Although the same can't seem to be said about her, but that's fine. That's a her problem, not a me problem. I'm just not interested. I don't want somebody like, Rabbit down the rabbit hole to like me. Why would I? She seems like absolutely like a complete nutcase. Like, what? We are completely out of chicken. Holy. Erin... Wait, what? Karen something wants people to talk about her excessively, but she wants them to lie and praise her that she's great. This is why she talks about you, but doesn't talk about you. Oh, yeah. Probably. Like, she's a waste of time. Ultimately. Like, that, all she wants is people to circle jerk around her, and her to come out smelling like roses every time, and she smells like... She ends up coming out smelling like old, moldy, crusty semen, because welcome to the bukkake party. Like, it's stupid. It's very dumb and foolish. I mean, I don't go out of my way to offend anyone on purpose, but I'm very much non-PC. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you mean by politically correct. Like, a lot of people will use PC and snowflakes as ways to, like, circumvent just being not a disgusting piece of shit. You know what I mean? So, like, people will say, like... I'm not saying you're doing this, by the way, just to be clear. I'm not saying that you are committing this. Social faux pas, or whatever. People will say, like... They'll use a racial slur and say that they're not being PC. Or, like, that boss that you said made the comment about the helmet. They'll be like, well, I'm just not PC. And it's like, no, that's not what that is. So, you know, it kind of... There's a give and take to it, and there's a push and pull with the tide of where society is at the time, and things will change. Like, I think that the term... Like, so, for example... I think, for example, the term, colonial, or like, colonist. So, like, if I run around and I start calling people who are from Britain like, dirty right? The, colonist, that is ostensibly a slur, right? It's not considered one currently socially, but I am calling this group of people who are from a certain place, who look a certain way, because of things that people before them did with a negative term, where I'm also generalizing that entire group of people, right? It's ostensibly a slur. It's just not a terribly offensive slur, because it's not really like, that group of people is not currently being oppressed by anybody. Right? So... it's a little bit less of an issue. That would be, like, that's not exactly being PC, because if I'm in a professional workplace, or if I'm, like, just out and about, and there's, like, a group of British people there, it's not exactly a pleasant thing for me to be doing, and I'm clearly being offensive. Right? But... is less of an issue, because there's no coinciding major societal implications. So I shouldn't say there's none. There aren't any that are, like, gravely problematic for the targeted individuals. Yeah, like, people calling you a racist because you're... Yes. So, like... Yes, there are societal problems. Yes, some of them are being caused by the upper crust of the British people. And the British people, maybe, are not doing enough to make those things not a problem anymore. So... if I were to say, like, one of them, let's call it the British Museum. The British Museum is a problem, right? Like, it's an issue, right? A very big issue. Or a very prevalent and obvious issue. The average person in Britain isn't going to war over it. They're not protesting in the streets because of the British Museum. Some people are, but not very, like, if there were enough people, it would probably be dealt with. But it's not being dealt with because not enough British people give a shit to bother, right? And you might think that that's a good thing or a bad thing. You might judge British people about that or not, and that's fine. You can have that conversation. But to be like, well, these fucking colonists over here and their fucking monarchy, when they're not really a monarchy right now, doesn't really cause them any grief. Right? So it's like, whereas that's not the same if you start using slurs or being like, if I'm in Canada and I call Native American people Indians or Canadians, it's actually offensive. Because they are neither of those things. Right? So we don't have... the crux of the issue is different. Right? So if you're an American and you come up to Canada and you're like, oh, is that the Indian Reserve? Everybody's gonna look at you like, what the fuck did you just say? Because it's not, like, it's more of a slur up here than not. Because it's just not, it's wholly inappropriate. So, like, for example, the people in Canada are called First Nations people because they are considered their own nation of people that are not umbrellaed over Canada. Like, they're not, Canada doesn't include them. Canada came after them. So the idea is, and this is something that there's government policies and stuff that are like little tied up strings that are being worked on. It's like a knot that's been picked at over time. But like the idea is that there are two nations within Canada. There are two nations within Canada. There's the Canadian government, which makes up everybody who is not First Nations, who are here first, and they're supposed to, and the idea is that they operate on two nations living in the same areas that are supposed to benefit each other. And so part of that is helping stabilize First Nations peoples and their resources and etc., 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 right? And that's part of Canada's responsibility for like the history and what had happened to them, both by the Canadian government and by the government that came before Canada was Canada, right? And so that's the whole idea. It's just like, we have the power to change it, we have the power to fix it, so we are going to. Why wouldn't we? And it's like, do we have to accept blame as individuals? It's not about blame, it's about fixing the fucking problem. Stop being weird about it. It's not like you're just looking for excuses to not fix the problem that you could easily fix. Stop being assholes. It's not rocket science. Can you tell this kind of shit pisses me off? Getting irritated just talking about it. Please! Stop being dumbasses. I just don't have a whole lot of patience for the stupidity of some of the fucking shit that I see on a regular basis. Had a popsicle here that for decades was sold under the name Giant Eskimo. Someone decided it was offensive to the Inuits of Greenland and forced a name change. But the one Inuit jokingly suggested calling it Giant Greenlander with a wooden stick up its butt. Like, that's funny. Like, that's funny. It's important, like, if you're gonna be an advocate for other people, and I feel like I'm gonna have a whole conversation on Debate Hub about advocacy, right? If you're gonna be an advocate for other people, don't just pick random shit, right? Oh, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna try and mute fast enough. It's reasonable to be like, hey, this could be problematic. Let's talk about this, versus demanding shit get changed on other people's behalf who didn't fucking ask. Those are very, very different things. And so, like, one of the things you'll see a handful of people joking about, it's like the people who are upset right now are like white women with nothing better to do. And like, in some cases, yeah, it's absolutely. But you'll find that more on a local scale than on a national scale, right? So, if there's an issue between, like, people and, like, the government and what the government wants to do and what the people want to do, or they want the government to make a change because there's something problematic inside of it, right? Or inside, like, the way the government is handling something. And let's even pretend it's, like, just semantic, right? So, like, changing the law to, instead of saying him or her, the law should probably just say the individual or them. And, like, does that seem like a big deal to you? Probably not, but it's really helpful when it comes to language that is supposed to be the law involving everyone in the country, to have it be as broad and specific as possible, right? It's not about you, and it's not about you being offended or people being offended or not. It's about the law and the country being clear in who are people. Because, as you've noticed, people will take advantage of language to try to box people out of rights. So you change that language not because you're worried about offending people, you change the language because you're worried that people are going to take advantage of specific or loose language to suppress or oppress other people. It's not about offense at that point. I did not eat any yellow snow. I might be catching a cold. I'm pretty tired. I'm hoping I can get back to art soon, but maybe not today, after putting up the Christmas tree. But regardless, things are weirdly difficult and weirdly simple at the same time. I don't know. And, like, these are conversations that can be really difficult to have with people because people get so defensive all the time. So, like, the term racist now doesn't exactly mean the same thing as it did in the 70s. Maybe I should wait till after. Not a bad idea. Oh, thank you. I wonder. Nope, it stayed. Why did I save? I don't, like, these conversations are usually a little bit difficult because people are, like, obstinate about shit. Where it's just like, well, how could what I say be offensive? Do you need me to hold your hand? Now racist means anyone who doesn't agree with me and has a different skin color. Yeah, that's not good. If that's the term that's being used, that's really caustic. Or the way the term is being used, that's really problematic. In my general experience, again, this is just my experience, not definitive, right? Racism is, like, doesn't just entail being blatantly aggressive due to hatred or fear of another race. It's about being oppressive either in your language or within a system. So, and like, being oppressive isn't necessarily going to be out of fear and isn't necessarily going to be out of hatred when it comes to an individual level, right? A question can be racist because it is coming from a place of ignorance and oppression. usually an earnest question won't be racist, but if you're, I'm just asking questions, and you're being difficult and a jerk because you don't want to listen to the other person because you're oppressing them, or not listening to them enables you, that's being oppressive. Right? So, shutting down someone else's voice by saying racist things. Like, one of the things you'll notice, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm racist, but I'm gonna call it that I'm not being politically correct, and I don't like that all these people are trying to tell me how I'm allowed to speak and what I'm allowed to say. You'll notice that now that Trump got elected, all those people have started, like, mask off, and they're actually just racist, and they were racist the whole time. Right? So it's like, I'm not you know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's complicated and simple at the same time, and I think a lot of times people don't want to get it. So if somebody says, like, the police are racist, and you say, no, I got a friend of mine, he's a really great guy, who is a cop who is black, and he, like, spends a lot of time in his communities doing a lot of good things, and it's like, okay, yeah, but I'm talking about the system, not this individual police officer. Yeah, the difference between honest and dishonest actors, right? So, one of the I think the better way to approach somebody calling somebody else racist, and if you're like the third party and somebody comes to you and says, hey, look out for that guy, they're racist, I think the way to take that conversation is to say, oh, really? Not, like, incredulously. Don't be like, oh, really? Be like, oh, really? What happened? And you ask them what happened, right? And so then you can get into being like, okay, well, what do they say, and why do you think it's racist? Now you're engaging in the conversation, and then you can make a more informed decision one way or the other, right? You don't have to say, no, they're not, prove to me they're racist. Well, whether or not an individual thinks somebody's racist, it's not a crime. It's a crime to harass people, and there's hate crime, but to have a shitty opinion about a different race of people is not a legal issue. It's a personal problem that is a societal issue that is, if somebody decides that somebody else is racist, that's a personal assessment that you might not agree with. But you're not going to know if you agree with it or not if you don't understand what they're saying and why. So if you ask them and you say, okay, well, what happened? You're not questioning them about whether or not they find it racist. You're questioning what their experience was, which opens up the conversation for you to make an assessment or even change an assessment you already have. So now you can educate yourself more about that individual and maybe more about the racism this person has been facing, right? Because now it's like, well, do you think this is racist? And they tell you what happened. You're like, really? I didn't think that was racist. Can you elaborate? Can you explain this a little bit more to me so I can understand it better? That is being a good advocate. That is being somebody who, like, is there to listen to what this person has to say, even if you don't necessarily end up agreeing with them at the end of the day. You don't have to argue with them and change their mind. You don't even have to say your opinion. You can be like, wow, that sounds like it was a really shitty situation. You might not think that person is racist. They might walk away from the conversation thinking that other person is racist. That's not your problem. You don't have to worry about it. The only reason you might have to worry about it is if you're friends with everybody. Like, if it's a friend group issue. Right? Which is, like, I think that's interesting to me. You know what I mean? I kind of find it hilarious and ironic how much of an incel I'm assuming you're talking about Nick Fuentes is, and yet he falls back to his mommy when shit hits the fan. He falls back to his mommy, but also as much as he's an incel, apparently, Destiny's in on that, so I guess he's not exactly an incel. He just doesn't have good luck with women. Maybe he's just gay. I don't know. can't be an incel when, apparently he's getting blowies on a regular basis. Try to hear both sides. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, it's good to hear out both sides, but it's not always necessary. You only really need to hear out both sides in a personal interaction if it's part of your day-to-day. Unless you're clearly MAGA, then I know you're an idiot. Yeah, there are you're walking around with a swastika tattoo, or you're it's not an old tattoo that you're ashamed of. You're a racist, and you're a problem, and you're an issue that society needs to deal with. I think if you're a Nazi, you're a cancer on society. But if somebody... You only really need to hear out both sides if both the people are your friends and you're trying to resolve the issue. Or if for some other reason it's very important for you to make a personal decision. So if somebody comes to me and says, that person's racist, and I don't know that person, I'm gonna be like, oh, what happened? They'll explain to me what happened, and I'm gonna say, wow, that sounds really shitty. Do I need to go up to that random person I don't know and be like, justify yourself? No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to care. I only need to care if it's if somebody comes to me and tells me that one of the guests on my show is a horrific racist, and that I shouldn't be dealing with that person, then I need to investigate that to make a decision about whether or not I'm going to have that person on the show again, because now it's something that I have to associate with and I have to navigate. And I may or may not want to hear that person out. Right? It depends on who it is. Right? And what my relationship with that person is. Etc., etc., etc. Where I might be like, alright, well, here's the situation, here's what I'm looking at. And then I'll probably send a message to that person, justify yourself. Or what the fuck is going on? And then hear them out, and then be like, okay, well, here's some things, here's some problems. Right? We need to sort this out. And sometimes I'll be like, nah, fuck this person, I don't care. Fuck off. You're an asshole, I'm not gonna deal with you anymore. And sometimes it's not because I necessarily think that what happened is really super duper problematic. It might, or that I have an issue with that person. I might legitimately just be like, I don't need to deal with your horseshit. The way you're handling this is problematic for me, regardless of whether or not I personally believe you're racist or not. I really don't think my tiny white ass's opinion about other people's racism is very important. There are other people with more to say that have a more valid opinion than mine about what is and is not racist. I am a tiny little white girl. I might have more of opinions about things that are misogyny, but for racism, I'm going to, I'll have my, actually, tiny white ass, my giant white ass. I'm a small person. My ass isn't tiny, I am tiny. Regardless, it's not I will definitely point out if there is racism happening. And I might be more willing to talk about racism in particular if it deals with, for Manya, for example. If somebody's being racist to Manya, I'm gonna be like, that's fucking racist, dude. Right? But I don't tend to, go out of my way to find things where there is racist stuff going on. But if I come across it, I will point it out. You know what I mean? So, I've seen things like Vic Mignogna saying something. I'm like, well, that's racist. Right? So, like, that's an issue. But I'm not going to, like, pretend X, Y, or Z, right? Like, I'm not going out as an advocate to fight those fights. You know what I mean? Are you black? Sometimes some things are more reasonable than others, right? Like, people seem to think that, like, cancel culture is about people losing everything or being, like, hunted like it's like some kind of fucking Salem witch trial. And that's just not what it is. So, like, for example, I'm gonna leave comedy out of it because I think comedy is like a different beast that needs to be kind of treated differently. But if you're talking about, like, Harvey Weinstein got canceled. Did he, though? Did Harvey Weinstein get canceled? No, he went to jail and got, like, in trouble for, you know, being a rapist and was held responsible for those actions. That's not like, he was literally canceled, like, he's not allowed to do shit anymore, but yeah, because he was abusing his power and assaulting people. So, was Vic Mignogna being canceled? No, he wasn't. The problem with Vic Mignogna was his... Excuse me. Ouch. The problem with Vic Mignogna was that the way he handled being confronted with the consequences of some actions he had taken. Right? Specifically the, Bill Clinton did not nearly face as much consequences as he ought to have. The fact that Bill Clinton was, like, hanging out with Barack Obama and Kamala Harris while they were campaigning, and they were like, wow, it was really great to talk to Bill Clinton. Like, bro, no, cringe, don't. No, it's not. It's not cool to hang out with Bill Clinton. It's really not. Like, it's not. That dude was a problem, and he abused people. Did he do good things politically? Sure. I guess. But should he be lauded as a good person? No, absolutely not. Right, so, like, there's one show that I really enjoy with, oh, what's his name? Colin and... It's the two guys, like, doing the news. They're two comedians, and there's a white guy and a black guy, and they write racist jokes for each other. Like, that's funny. That's funny. Because it's not mean-spirited. It's not, like, trying to, like, tear anybody down. The thing that, I'm talking about comedy again, but, like, comedy falls under different rules. You know the one I'm talking about? I can't remember the name of the show. It's so fucking funny. But, like, I don't, like... I'm not gonna tell... Like, this is why, like, I really didn't like that I had to ask, Generic Minority, when he came onto my channel, I had to ask him not to, if he could avoid it, to not use the N-word. And that wasn't... And I do not like asking him to do that. And the reason I don't like asking him to do that is because I don't feel like I should be dictating what he's allowed to say and what terms he's allowed to use. I didn't really look at any of this stuff. But I felt obligated to ask because YouTube was gonna lambaste me if I didn't. But he also slipped it in a couple of times. Did I, like, call him out and ask him not to do that? No, I didn't. because I wasn't gonna draw a whole ton of attention to it when, like, he should be allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants. Just as an example. I'm gonna order the stuff and we might have enough to do the next expansion. We're getting close. We ran out of butter. Holy. Sorry, I got quiet. I'm like... My brain is starting to turn off, dude. We did that side already. I'm doing this backwards. We finally ran out of small eggs. You know what? Give me 5. There we go. Are they putting stuff away already? Are they already on the boxes? I'm about to be impressed if they're already on the boxes. New York After Dark, is that what it's called? It's like the Peterson going, quote, "What do you mean? What do you mean is? What do you mean God? What do you mean whatever that was?" Holy crap, whatever little respect I might have held for him went down the old swirly right there. God, Jordan Peterson is a fucking... Don't get me started on Jordan Peterson, okay? I will throw a bitch fit. I fucking hate Jordan Peterson. He's such an asshole. Like, he's just an asshole. He doesn't even, like, give good advice. Oh, you're having a hard time with your life? Clean your room. Oh, thanks, Kermit. Like, I would rather take advice from Elmo. Who Jordan Peterson hates? I fucking... God, he's the worst. His followers are terrible. Like, he works so hard to say nothing, and then his followers are like, look at this brilliant thing he said, and I'm like, it's nothing. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Like, why are we here? Oh, I hate Jordan Peterson so fucking much. He's such a waste. He's such a waste of time and space. Like, good God. And it's just word salad forever. Kill me. End my suffering. Like, God. Pain. Awful. Terrible. Garbage. Poo-poo. Rocco's a rock. At least Elmo is trying. Oh, the weekend update? I don't know what it's called, but it's very funny. IRN brew. Shut up and drink this and chill. I know, right? Good God. Like, if you've ever watched a really short video about Jordan Peterson by Some More News, I highly recommend watching it. It's very good. It's the video that I always wanted to make, but didn't want to watch enough Jordan Peterson to make. I didn't want to suffer that much, alright? They did the video I always wanted, and I was just like, thank you, because I wasn't gonna do it. It's just like everything about him is like a cringy ass grift of like this awful, out of touch old man who just wants to bitch and moan about everything all the time because he's an absolute fucking little baby bitch boy. And you can quote me. If you see a Jordan Peterson fan, and you can tell them that, and tell them it was me, and then they can come to me and complain, and I can tell them to go fuck themselves. Imagine having whatever mental issues you have treated by him. Ugh. That sounds terrible. God. Imagine, like, being upset because you're a teenager and your life is kind of shitty, and, like, Jordan Peterson's like, I'm 14 and this is deep. And then you start living your life based off of, like, the nothing burger that fucking Jordan Peterson... Like, could you imagine? Oh, good God. No, he hasn't lost his license yet. His license he was threatened to lose his license. As far as I know, that's not over. Because he's trying to appeal the decision. So he was given the choice of either having his license revoked or attending a course and training on, like, it wasn't, like, sensitivity training, but I would jokingly call it sensitivity training. So he was supposed to face the tribunal. I don't recall if he's actually faced the tribunal yet, but he went to, court, like, to Canadian court to go and appeal the decision that he'd have to pick one of those things, and his appeal was denied. And he was planning on continuing to fight it, like, into the Supreme Court or something like that. I don't know. But, as far as I know, that's still an ongoing issue. But, so his license might currently be suspended until he picks something. Or until, like, he does one or the other. Whatever happens, happens. So his license might be suspended for now. I mean, he's not practicing anyway. He hasn't been for a long time. He just uses his license as a way to try to justify and act as if he's an authority on something that he hates and doesn't understand. Which is kind of the description of racism. But, no. Whatever. Sounds like a description of Kent Hovind. Yeah. Has anybody heard anything about Candace Owens? Some of Aaron's crazy fucking followers demanded that I watch this thing about Candace Owens, where she was, like, exposing all this vaccine shit, and I watched it and I was like, this is stupid. And they were like, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then it turned into, oh, you didn't watch the right one, and oh this, and then oh that, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. God, Candace Owens is such a bitch. She's an asshole. Candace Owens was the token black lady for, PragerU and, like, Ben Shapiro's show. Network. What the fuck was it called? I forget what Ben Shapiro's... I cannot believe anybody fucking takes Ben Shapiro seriously. Like, in what world does anybody take fucking Ben Shapiro seriously? The man told people they don't have to worry about climate change and their houses being underwater because he can just... you could just sell them. Like, to who? To Aquaman! But yeah, the Daily Wire, that was it, thank you. Good God. Like, the level of idiocy. The fact that the Daily Wire even fucking exists is insane. Like, absolutely cracked. Like, in what world? I can't. I feel like I could make an entire, like, channel just based around the Daily Wire and just, like, shitting on this stuff forever, but I think I would probably end up, like, unaliving. Like, I wouldn't be able to cope. I'd just be like, no, get me out. Get me out, man, I can't deal with this. I'm just getting the last bit of stock here because I feel like I'm a little bit under where I want to be. That's fine, that's fine. That's no good. That's no good. That's no good. That's probably not good. There we go. Alright. I think after this day we're going to be able to expand it. I think I just said that last day, but that's okay. We're so close. Brett Cooper? Oh, good. Oh, you talking about his sister? Abigail, I think her name is. At this point, I might be surprised if Erin doesn't get arrested. How long will she be arrested for? I couldn't say. But if I'd be surprised if she doesn't. I think at this point. And I'm usually pretty skeptical about stuff like that. Like, I don't recall thinking that Kyle would get arrested. Haha, I threw them. What? Did that box just teleport to the other fucking side of the fucking... What? Huh? Whatever. This place, my store is magical, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna turn the light on now, whatever. Paralegal. Yeah. Oh, wrong. I clicked on the bank. Son of a bitch. Bills are empty. I'm not worried about... So I could get another license right now, but I don't have the space. Like, I don't have the shelving space to deal with it. So we're not going to do that. What we need to do is growth. Where I need 40,000, and I'm just under, so... Do I have any updates on Aaron's case, even secret stuff? And if it's secret, don't say it here. Okay. Do I know things about what's going on with that case? Not that I know of. Not that I don't think it's already public knowledge. I'm pretty sure all of the information is public. I know. Candace Owens was denied entry to Australia and New Zealand? Was it because of her vaccine status? Did I do my prices today? I think I did. Let me double check. This one's wrong. There we go. I think I did them and I just did that one wrong. We're almost at 40 grand. That too, probably. Article says something about her making comments about Jews and Muslims. Yeah, that sounds like Candace. She's kind of a complete asshole. She split up with the Daily Wire, or she got kicked out of the Daily Wire, or they went different ways because she didn't agree with the genocide in Gaza. She was pro-Palestine. And the Daily Wire was pro-Israel. What a world. Quote, news of the ruling came weeks after neighboring Australia also rejected her visa request, citing remarks in which she denied Nazi medical experimentation on Jews in concentration camps during World War II. Yeah, Holocaust denial. Uh-huh. Yeah, come on, you guys aren't surprised that Aaron has followers that deny the Holocaust, right? I think we've been over this. Boom! Alright, we have $700. It's fine. Probably. Check it out! Hell yeah! I got my little jerk-off corner now. Yes! So that means... What does this mean? This moves over here. Like this. Right? We need lights. I'll go buy a light. I think we only need one. It'll be okay. Furniture, I think? We might need to order another speaker, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that right now. Light! And the Lord said, Shaboogaloo. Alright. And then this gets moved over here. Right? And then this gets moved just, like, out of my way. Oh, I guess we'll put it here for now. And then this one gets moved over here. There we go. Ta-da! This is going pretty good. So then we get a corner one here and a corner one here. Right? We get a corner and corner, and then we get a corner and a corner. So we need to order 2 corner shelves. I need to order... Wait. Yeah, this one is useless. We need these inner corner ones. We need this. So how many is that going to be? We still have one more right here, right? So we've got... We're going to do a corner shelf and a corner shelf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5. We're out of chicken. Is that because we're out of chicken? Oh, we are out of chicken. We might need another spot for chicken. Too long didn't read. Owen got denied for her extremist views. Yeah. Fair. Considering the amount of evidence there is for the Holocaust, people denying it is a depressing mystery to you. Yeah, same. It's like... I don't know, some of those people are the same people who think there's like aliens involved in it and like all kinds of crazy shit. I need to see if I can get another cash register. I don't know if I can. We're gonna find out. No, a bunch of people said that. That's okay. I'm not worrying about it right this very second because we only have $6,000 and I need to buy stock for tomorrow, so they can fucking wait. Bills and prices are already done. Oh god, the History Channel. Have you ever heard Landon talk about the History Channel? It's super funny. Ancient Aliens or the History Channel? I'm gonna need another freezer of chicken, I think. Or I just need more in the stock room. I might just need more space in the stock room for it. I saw somebody making a joke about blackface. I was just like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but no. That's not what blackface is. It's sometimes you suspend your disbelief for the joke, right? Because they were like, well, I mean, you're not allowed to do blackface under any circumstances, right? Right. But, have you ever seen a Navy SEAL commercial? And I'm like, well, that's funny. It's not blackface, but amusing. It was kind of funny, but not very funny. I think for good comedy, you shouldn't have to do that. But that's just like my opinion, man. And we might have to take out a loan to do the rest of it. Yeah. Yeah, I think the History Channel probably needs to be rebranded. I bet all of those things were chicken. Okay. So we need, what did I say we needed? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna need one for that. No, we don't. Because that one's gonna move. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Okay. How much is that gonna cost us? We're gonna find out. Corner shelves, corner shelves, corner shelves. These corner shelves. Yeah. What color do we want them? Dark green. We don't have enough. Oh, we do. Yeah, we're fine. Actually, before I do that, you, come here. Can I put you here? Oh, not even close. Ooh, not even close, baby. Alright, go back. Go back. Go back. Sit. There. Oh, there it is. I have squeakied these guys in here. I need another checkout guy. I could put a self-checkout right there, but I really don't want to. I don't want that in my life. Alright. Let's do this first. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like self-checkouts. In this game, the self-checkouts actually get errors on them as well that you gotta go fix. And I'm like, nah. Like, hard pass. I like to employ my local community. So, this is a little bit wrong. This is a little bit wrong. Hold on. We're gonna make this fit. Because this needs to be able to go here. So we're going to move this to here. Then we're gonna move this back to there. And then we're gonna put this in here. And we're gonna make it fit. We're not keeping that there, we're just using it as our... Hello. We're just using it as our reference point. So then we can take it and put it over here. Oh wait, not yet. Hold on. I shouldn't have put that there yet. I should have done this first. There we go. So my problem here is that I don't think another one's gonna fit. So like... if I put one of these right here, it's not gonna fit another shelf down the middle. I don't... Yeah, see, it's not gonna... That's not gonna fit another shelf. No, there's no other corner that's gonna fit here. Not with these like this. That's not gonna work. Son of a... Can you move? Thanks. Dickhead. Alright. He didn't do anything. I'm just being a jerk. Oh yeah, no. You right. You don't have to be kidding, you're correct. Ooh. Alright. See, this doesn't even quite fit. And that's not good. So we gotta figure that out. We could make it like this awkward little nook, but that seems stupid. Like, this looks dumb. I hate that. Well, technically we're gonna get a whole extra chunk, so that might rebalance the space. So I guess we'll see. For now, I don't need this. Where do I have to put another one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I say I needed 6? Oh, because I'm going to need them back there. That's why. I mean, I can put... I'm not worried about that. That will fit. I just need to futz with it. This can go here for now. It's fine. That's not really a problem. Ta-da! Give me these potatoes. It's okay. It's just still, we're under construction. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then this should go. So, we need to get the next section. Oh, this is off now. There we go. Nope, that's still off. There we go. Oh, and this one. Oh, this is a double. Well, fuck me, I guess. Yay. Well. Ah! Fuck. Fine. Now this is in the way. Ah! I got this. Don't worry about it. Nope, it's fine. Fine. We're just gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna slide it right back in. It's gonna leave a little bit of a gap, but that's fine. It doesn't matter because we're moving this. And this is the one that's gonna go here. Then it's right by all the sugar. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. It's gonna look weird for a little while, but it's okay. It's not a problem. This is just gonna go right here, because there's nothing back there right now anyway. See, look, it's fine. The concept is strong, alright? The concept works. Alright. Prices. Nope, 60.55. 5.85. 6.10. Because we do not use pennies at Mert Mart. And that's the same. That didn't change. Why is this saying it changed? 69, 369, 369. Alright. We have $6,000. We kind of have to buy only what we need. We need chicken. I think we need 6 boxes. We're gonna need that. That's fine. Nope, we don't need that. That's fine. We're just cutting this a little bit closer than I would like. But, to be fair, we also have not taken out a loan. We got that going for it, which is nice. Cool. We have $2,000 left over, so let's see what else we need. Our store's coming together. I'm gonna change all these to dark green. And then I'm gonna paint dark green strips on the corners where all of them kind of pocket out. No capes. No pennies. When was the last time you had such a hard time fitting something so big into a small place? Listen. That's a really personal question. You'd be surprised. I did manage to fit a Christmas tree into this room. Admittedly, it's made my sitting area a little bit squishy, but that's okay. Randy Feltface is very funny. I enjoy Randy. I like Randy better than I ever liked Jeff Dunham. I really enjoy Randy Feltface. He is very funny. I haven't seen anything problematic from him either. Which is nice. I wonder if I can squish that even closer. I might be able to, but that's okay. So we just have like a couple like little weird spots right now, but it's fine. I guess I could actually just put another one of these away for now and make it a little bit nicer. Not that I think it's gonna matter that much. Like, I don't think the game cares. That's a speaker back there, right? Yeah, okay. Cool. Parkour! Someone is only hilarious when he does his characters. When it's himself, he comes off as super insecure. Ah, fair enough. I think there are some things... Like, I think he's got a couple of amusing bits, but, like... some of his stuff is kind of cringy. I don't think being a little bit cringy, though, is really necessarily a bad thing for a comedian. It just depends on whether or not you can make it work for you. And I just like I like Randy Feltface better than I like Jeff. Then again... Feltface is a full-on just a character as well, so that helps. Yeah, no, of course. We're here for a good time. We're here for a goof. Which is also, by the way, one of the things that I was like a little bit about Oompaville, where I'm like, you know this interview is bad when you have to preface it with so much about talking about how you're not a serious person and a goofball. So it's just like, bro, why are you trying so hard to preface this? Because you know it was bad? Because you know that there's gonna be problems? Because you're trying to circumvent criticism before you've even started? Like, that's... That's rough. Like, I get it. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna grab one of these. Alright. I said I need more chicken, right? I fucking knew it. I am going to move these chips here. And then I'm gonna move this up one. And then do this. There we go. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put this up there. We got extra chicken spots. That's mostly just like a little bit of overstock flow, so it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable and we're not gonna run out. Okay. We still need to buy 2 more chicken. Wasn't that show where he revealed Trump's political advisor puppet? Walter's a little bit. Yeah, Walter's got some good bits to him. He's got, like, most of his characters have, like, a good bit or two, but, yeah. I think you guys get what I'm saying. That's a cool story. I don't think he's terribly problematic most of the time. I just like felt face better. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna do that. Oh, we need peanut butter. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's it. We're done. That's it. We did it. Now we need to sit around and make $50,000. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream there because we've been live for like, what, 3 hours? Oh, 2:30. Okay, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bit on point. I'm a little bit more on schedule than I thought I was gonna be. So, that's good. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna write my script up for explaining what the hell, philanthropy is. I'm gonna finish that script. I think it'll only be like a 5-minute video. Maybe it'll be 10, but I don't think so. I will make sure to do some stretches. When Peanut actually flew off. But I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for shopping at Mert Mart, where you shop Smurt. And the store opens at 4, and I'll see you on the checkout line. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Man, I'm just glad my power didn't go out this time. Ah.